be doing my topic on how psychoanalysis changed my life forever. When I say forever, I mean forever. And I could go on more specific into like Freud, Jung, or you know any of the topics or people that we want to learn. But I feel like those people were building blocks for who I am today. They're people I learned from, people who helped shape me, and people and ideas who helped shape the person I am today. But they aren't the person who I am today. I'm the person who I am today, and I feel like I really want to tell you guys who I am, who Pranay Samuel is. July 3rd, or August 3rd, 2020, and I know I still got a full future ahead, hopefully, and um, yeah, this is who I am now and how psychoanalysis shaped that and also shaped the future and how it changed my life, how it's gonna change the way I live. And yeah, I'm also gonna be mindful of myself because, I kinda wanna get one view of myself. Cause I feel like when I look, um, just with like when I record something and I just look, there's so many distractions, your phones, clothes, colors, everything, and I feel like I just want to focus on myself as because this is myself, and if I can't tell you who I am if I'm not myself, so I'm gonna be in my full self-centered mode, and yeah, all right, cool. So I think I started getting the psychoanalysis when I was in eighth ninth grade, and I wouldn't even say it's psychoanalysis. It's just questioning of my thoughts, feelings, and most because I had some crazy, crazy feelings and thoughts, dreams, and all of that. But I never really questioned them, and letting them sit there was the worst idea ever. Like when I say ever, I mean ever. And it really reflected on who I was back then in the middle school because I wasn't really the person that I kind of emulate or strive to be. I, you know, call people stupid for not to their face, obviously, but like in my mind, obviously, but for people who had a different belief from me, I, you know, was always hid who I truly was because I wanted to look cool and I kind of followed the crowd. I I I did things because other people told me to. I never truly delved in my interests because I thought a lot of the things that I liked and stuff were just like or wanted to do were just crazy or unthinkable or non stereotypical. So you know, I just let them sit there and that repression of trueness, that repression of myself was just the worst thing that could ever happen to me because it made me such an ignorant. It made me such a selfish. It just made me a jerk. Like this, but it made me a jerk. And um, it wasn't until I started analyzing myself and my thoughts and my impulse and until I realized this. Like for example, we're gonna go into politics because a prevalent subject right now, and yeah, so I obviously, as a lot of people do, had the beliefs of my parents, my family. It's kind of a thing that your parents or the people close around you they influence you. They're supposed to be your master, your teacher, your role models. They raise you. You're a kid. They teach you. They teach you how to walk. They teach you how to talk. They teach you how to throw a rock, and they kind of influenced me to believe their way of thinking, which I not saying anything against it, but it made me so narrow minded in a sense that it was kind of like not like it's accepting others for what they believe, but obviously categorizing them as stupid or dumb or just not educated or something like that. And just from that thing, it made me someone that like was kind of like a politician. You know what I mean? I was controlled by my ego, my bias, like, and I had no restraint. Like if someone said something I disagreed with, or someone made a comment which was questionable in my opinion, I would immediately attack them. Not like I'm like, verbally, not attack, but I mean, I would express my resent for their statement, and yeah, it kind of made me not see people for who they were, but see people in the way I want to see them. And I think that's really really big life lesson that I learned from, I guess, from this, and like from analyzing myself, was that you can never truly fully understand another person because you're viewing them in in like what Freud, you're viewing them in your own thoughts, your own opinions, your own, but you're viewing them from yourself, so you're not viewing them from themselves. So you can never know what they're truly going through. You can never know what they're truly doing. And that's kind of where I segued into analyzing myself, analyzing my dreams, my thoughts. And I started to explore, these fantasies, these crazy things. And um, everything that Freud was, all these like impulses, all these drives, were all true, in a sense that like we all think things that are unthinkable. We all think things that are catastrophic, are beyond the morality scale that we set for our society, but we still think them. And to deny that we actually think them is a denial of the truth. And as Jordan Peterson once said, the antidote of suffering is truth. So I decided to, I guess, be real with myself instead of making a fable story of my dream. And I started to, finally act upon the person who I was. And I saw who I was from the distance. I don't want to. I want to give some examples, but I'm gonna give some examples because I don't know. I feel like you guys can't really personally. So in seventh grade, what's it called? I I said no to. So this person asked me to dance, and I said no. I said no, but I said no because I thought I'd get made fun of, and I you know I was just scared of the teasing, laughing, and that kind of stuck on me. And I was just thinking for myself, right? But then when you try to understand the other person's perspective, you kind of see maybe that person really wanted just wanted to have a chill time and dance. And um, when you say no, that person in a sense becomes uh, the person becomes, I guess, since the person becomes, sad or happy. I'm not sure if that's true or not, but I'm just saying that like if we view life from our perspective only, then we're not gonna truly understand the other person, and then we're gonna do stuff in a sense that's selfish. And that was one thing that I regretted, after I realized that, after I analyzed that moment in my life. And I don't know, that was the start of things that I really wish I didn't, wish I could reverse. But obviously, you can't go back into the past. But just analyzing moments like those, analyzing the moments where I acted like a jerk. If I didn't invite someone over to the house into my house because I maybe like other people didn't want them, or I what's it called? I did something stupid. I get not stupid, but you know what I mean, like stupid because other people wanted me to. I said something because other people other people wanted me to say it, or maybe I said it because of them or for them. And I just started analyzing all these moments, and I just compiled them. And I that first night so it's hard expressing yourself, all right. I know I'm stuttering and I'm saying a lot, but it's hard expressing yourself. But I cried, all right. I cried. I said I cried, and I'm not gonna be ashamed of that. I cried because I cried of who I was as a person, and I know it's a very, very privileged thing to say, and I feel I've had such a very, very privileged lifestyle. But that's another thing. Like I don't want to really deny anything, and at least the fact that I know I could have done better, the fact that I know is it's hardening because it's a lot of things. There's this movie I watched called Synodaki in New York, and it's like this guy was trying to make this play and try to make it perfect, and went through entire life making this play, but I feel like he just kind of forgot to live life, and then he died. And in this world where people are dying constantly, I think in this past at least 3 months, I've known, or not known, but I've like had some sort of relation with 5 people that passed away, young, old, all of that. And it heartbreaks me. It breaks my heart because it's like life is it's so simple. It can go away in an instant. like that, like a snippety snap, snap, and go away, and we treat it like, you know, we're the main characters. Like, you know, let's say someone passes away. Oh, it's like another person lost, but you're still alive, so you keep going. But when you actually like delve into that, they were once the main characters of their own story. They were once, they had a whole family. They had families. They had a family tree where everything is now affected because of that one loss. And I'm lucky because I'm in a stable. I have this green bonds right now, but now people's bonds are broken yellow, and it's all a mess. And I'm not really in a mess right now, but I feel like sometimes I create the mess for myself. And um, yeah, I feel like when I was young, at least, that was me not analyzing my thoughts. It was me, I guess, not realizing the mess that I created and not realizing the mess I created for other people, if you know what I mean. And then, yes, then I guess that was my younger stage. So let's move on to the middle stage when I started analyzing. And when I started analyzing, when I tell you I was bewildered, I was bewildered. Like, the things that I realized of, life and, our society and just myself just blew my mind. Like, my dreams, I started realizing why I had my dreams, and like, why objects in my dreams were objects. I guess, but I guess, one person in my dream, I like, so this person in my dream, maybe I had, like, let's say I had a crush on them or something like that, and they were in my dream. And they weren't my crush in my dream, but they were in my dream. I realized why they were in my dream, because my subconscious knew that in my heart I, had a crush on them, but um, it it didn't really want me to. It didn't, I guess, tell me through my conscience, so it had to tell me through my dreams, and just all the instances of myself, my family, my who I was as a person. Like, I started just all these things my subconscious were telling me this, and they're hidden in plain sight, and I didn't see them, and I started analyzing why I had these dreams, and it made me realize that, at least, I don't want to become the big realization, but after I realized kind of my mistakes, it realized who I could have been. It realized who I could have been, and when I realized I could have been, it's kind of a hard thing, because when you could have been something you weren't then, but then I started watching podcasts and everything, and I guess this gist of self motivation that I got was that focus on yourself in the now. Everyone's made mistakes. We are a product of a billion mistakes, so we can only focus on our. We can only our only hope is focusing ourselves in the now, learning from the mistakes, things that we were taught when we were kids, things that we were taught when we were kids. But then we live in this culture now, in this like cancel culture, in this culture we where we denigrate people for believing what they want to believe, or for making mistakes. We denigrate them for their past, and it's like we're taught to learn from our mistakes. We're taught to change. We're taught to improve. But by canceling people, that's kind of negating that. In a sense, it's saying that we should be held accountable for everything we do. It's like that there should be a Santa Claus every single where we go, every single thing. I'm gonna go check some. Make sure this is recording. All right, cool. Um, yeah, and that just blew my mind. Like what? Like, and once I saw this idea that I can actually focus on myself in the now instead of crying about the past, because I had this period where, like, not where I was just like really really sad, like really, really, like I would, I don't know, like, I have this like I think I like punched light in a light switch one time, because I was just so mad of who I was in the past, and certain outcomes, and things that happen, with my family, family beef, and like all of that stuff. I just I just built so much anger, and I just left it in myself. But when I realized to focus on myself in the now, it just made me such a better person. A person where I was relieved. I was free from that stress and anxiety and all of that. And I started working myself in the now. I made amends. I said sorry to the people that I hurt. I said sorry. I said sorry. I said sorry. I forgave. I forgave the people that maybe hurt me, but there wasn't really many of those people. I'm not gonna lie, there was like barely any of them. I don't. No one even truly did anyway. But I just said sorry. Sorry is a very powerful thing. I underestimated the thing of sorry, but just say sorry, man. Like, and own up to it. All right, own up to it. I owned up to it, and when you own up to stuff, you realize that, oh yeah, you own up to it, but when you own up to it, you realize there's nothing, when you're on the bottom, right? There's nothing but up. There's nothing but up from the bottom, and and I owned up to these, past beginnings, and then I started focusing on myself, and then now it started hanging out with that person that I didn't hang out with before. I started talking with those people I classified, weird or thing or not cool. I started um, being more open. I started breaking out of my shell. I started being myself. I started expressing myself. I started doing all of these things with that simple notion of living in the now. With that simple notion of forgiving, with that simple notion of forgiving, with that simple notion of analyzing myself, my thoughts, my dreams, my who I was as a person. And I guess I feel like this is a good segue to who I am now, who I am in the present. And who I am in the present is complicating because I think I sometimes I feel like it's a constant up or down because sometimes I feel like I'm in 100%. I am constantly you know I guess upbeat. I'm expressing myself. I'm making videos. I'm making songs. I'm doing so many things, and I'm talking with people, whether it's on social media. I'm saying hi. I'm in conversation with them, and sometimes and then I'm saying preaching a lot of these things that a lot of these things where I learned that there's two sides to every story. Sorry, I had an interruption there, but yeah, just when I the contradictions between like who I who I am, who I'm portraying myself to be, but the reality of the situation kind of is I guess the reality that I set for myself. You know what I mean? Like yeah. I guess to continue what I said, I would always say it's like two sides to every story. Love everyone, choose love or hate. Um, you know, be yourself. True. Be true. Um, express yourself. I would always. I say this to people constantly. Um, but the reality situation is I don't even listen to things that have. I don't even act upon or listen or am half the things that I say. I'm partly truth, partly fiction. I'm a walking contradiction. I don't really act upon the standards that I set for myself, and well, not standards, but I guess the person that I see myself as. I don't really act as that, at least all the time. It's like a game, a balance between who I am and who I'm not. It's a yin and yang, and it's my true self and my fake self, and I balance that. But then there's benefits and negatives to both, right? And I announce as this like when I'm my true self, I'm myself. I love expressing myself. I feel good. I feel great. But then my true self is when I'm most alone. If you know what I mean, it's when I can't really relate to that many people, or a lot of people don't really see the things I do, or wanna, I guess, have a conversation about things. That's when I have, that's when I'm my fake self. But I things I'm happy. I love talking to people, even if it's about things that don't matter, right? Like, you know, like if you want to play like sports or shoes or video games, like these things that like you like ask a philosopher or something like that. Oh, this distractions of life, making people. But I feel like I love talking to people that aren't like me, that have different interests, that like my interest might be on this philosophy psychology stuff, but I also have other interests, and when I can relate to people on those other interests, it's still great. Like I love talking to people about sports. I love all of that, but I'm happy. But then there's times if the fake side goes too the fake side goes too high, then I become that egotistical person that I was when I was in middle school. So all I'm trying to say is it's you got at least what the main thing I learned from all of this is balance. Is balance. That through all society, we live in this world where people are just so divisive, so hateful, So we label every single goddamn thing. We hold people to one thing. Like they say, what's it called? As George Carlin once said, I'm gonna leave the symbols. I leave symbols to the symbol minded. Like for me at least, I'm leaving labels to the label minded. All my friends and all my family and everyone is just, yeah, we all think they're so different, but we're all the same. We're all the same. And just seeing where our world is today, how everyone's just hating each other for their opinions, and they think that by, I guess, canceling, by think by hating, by think they labeling, by think all of that, that some way we're gonna relieve the suffering of people of our race. It just it hurts because I've just seen my friends turn on, like, I've seen people just turn on each other. I've seen people hate on each other. And I've seen all of this, and I used to be that person. But then when I see other people become that, well, when other people act upon, when other people become that person who I was, I just it's boiling because we assume everything. We assume we know everything, and we assume we know everything. We're the most ignorant because then we don't, because then we assume everything we know is right. And I think the biggest thing in life that I learned is that there's two sides to every story, and at least for me, we're all going through different things. And I'm gonna go back to like the thing about death that I saw. Is like constantly people are dying and um, dying and getting reborn, dying and getting reborn, dying and getting reborn. It's a whole cycle, and we only got at least at max 100 years, but people that's getting cut short to about, some people are dying, 19, 20, 30, 40, 50. And this thing of death, I'm not scared of death, but when this unnatural death happens, it makes you reflect on how lucky you are to be alive and how lucky you are to be experienced. Because they say that we're it's like a 1 in 400 trillion chance that you are you, that we're alive, that the things match up, that you have a consciousness, that you were born in the year that you were born. And yeah, it's boiling because I just it I know I'm starting a lot, but I don't want to tear up on camera, but it's like, I don't know. And after I started exposing myself, like once I started exposing myself, like how I got to that conclusion was exposing myself, was this thing called radical vulnerability, which is like exposing yourself to different things and stuff, different movies, different music, different films, different podcasts, different ideas and stuff. And I've just tried to educate myself on both sides of the argument, whatever the topic was. And it tore me up because when you really break it down, like after the opinions, when you strike it down from the opinions, we're all going through different stuff. Like I know a couple, I know like I know like I know like tons of people that are right now that are going through depression, they're going through mental health issues, and they have completely different opinions on everything, on this political spectrum, on music, fashion, and everything, but they're all going through that same commonality of mental health issues. And I've seen, you know, I've seen, I've not seen, but I know people that have lost their moms or dads and stuff, and I'm very lucky to have both, have like a full single family and be as privileged as I am. But it's like, when it sucks when you can't do anything except for I guess talk. And when you talk, I can't experience that what the person's going through, but I know it's pain. I know it's pain. I know it's pain. I know it's suffering. That's all I know. That's all I can relate to. And I can't even justify myself to see how the magnitude of pain that they're going on, and then the pain that I go through. Because the pain I go through is childish, but it's the commonality. It's that we're all going through the same thing. We're all going through the same. We're all riding the same ship. But we all think that we're all different. We all think that it's a left and right. We all think that it's them versus us. We all think it's that, when it's really you versus yourself. It's not you versus the world. It's you versus yourself. And and how it's this psychoanalysis, and how at least being aware of yourself, being aware of your thoughts, your feelings, your impulses, your fear, how that simple thing for me, my fears, my thoughts, how that let me, I guess, be more aware of that. And I'm not saying I'm some guru or that what I'm saying is true, because I don't even know if what I'm saying is true. I don't know, but I think there's some truth to it. I think, and you can contemplate. You find the answer for yourself. I'm not trying to force up anything on you, but find the answer for yourself. Okay, all right? Because I'm done with this. Like I was playing I was playing some what's it called? I was playing some video game with my friends, right? And they were having some argument about politics, and it boiled me to see how much hate, the division and the hate, and the that we live in a society where people are constantly being the society of suffering, and that we don't realize that love is the only way that we can get through it, or the way that we can have change. Love is the only way. And I'm not trying to say I know it's the only way. I'm not trying to say I know it's the only, but I think it is. I think it is. And for me, at least, it was a way out of my ignorance. It was a way out of my fear. It was a way out of me not being myself, and it was a way out of me being who I am today. And it's all credits to psychoanalysis. All credits to people like Freud and people like young people like that who decided to question, you know, question the why, question the unknown, question all of that. And if I want to give you any final advice, at least for me, because if you don't see me again, you know, probably whenever, it's just be yourself. It is to be yourself, be true. Don't. I mean, that's not my advice. I'm not gonna say that because that's not true at all. At least not true at all. But I'm saying there's truth there. But I'm saying like that's not what I would say. What I would say is that at least for me, at least what helped me become, just expose yourself. Expose yourself. Expose yourself. Expose yourself. Expose yourself. Expose yourself to the new. Expose yourself to things that you don't agree with. Expose yourself to expose yourself to everything. Expose yourself to every single thing that you can. The films, the movies, the books, the literature, the people that you disagree with, the people that you agree with or not agree with, but the people, to expose yourself to everything, every single thing, the videos, the podcasts, the people, to every single thing. Expose. Because you expose and you realize, because when you expose, you become more vulnerable, and when you become more radical, vulnerable, you're not as narrow-minded. And when you're not as narrow-minded, when you take off this blindfold and you see life as when you see life when you see life through the perspective of variance, through the perspective of ourselves, through the perspective that we're all we're all going on different paths, but it's the same goal. You know what I mean? Like, we're the only truth in this, the only objectified truth in this world is that we're gonna die one day, right? That's the only objectified truth. So if that's the truth, and we're all heading to that truth, that means that no matter how many wiggles, no matter how many, that we're all going on the same path, and that um when the fact that we're all going the same path means that we that we're the same, that we all go through different feelings, we go through different emotions, we all cry, we all laugh, we all do that. And if we don't see the humanity in everyone else, if we don't view life as a synchronicity of just a synchronicity of people, a synchronicity of time, a synchronicity of all of this faces things that we gave value, like money. If we extract that money, we extract the material, we extract that labels. Let's extract labels, like extract socialism, extract communism, extract everything in life, and go face bare value, like the giver. Make it see everything is black and white. Nothing has labels. We're all the same. There's nothing different. And I've been repeating myself, but this is just the idea that at least I want you to contemplate on, that we're all the same, and that to just not judge people, just to not to realize that we're all going through different things in life, and that judging people is only a promotion of what we learned. All of this, like bullying, all of this calling people weird, all of this, thing that leads to this unorthodox death, unnatural death, which just pains me because it breaks off a whole it breaks off a stem of possibility. It breaks off a stem of um of people. It breaks off a stem of beautiful souls that could have been alive, that died, and the emotion that people close around them feel is just, it's just, I can't, I can't, and I know it sounds really fake right now, but just please can contemplate that. That's all I want to say in this podcast. To my psychoanalysis class, thank you. You've exposed me to so many new things, and I love every one of you. And hopefully, we can meet up in the future. And yeah, just please, just be yourself, man. Be yourself, and don't judge anyone. Love, don't hate. Choose light of darkness, and whatever you want to do with your time in this world, could do because you want to do it. Don't. We have such a short time in this world that there's no point in just being a significant, being an enemy of, the master. We really not something the master. It's just letting your master control you. Because is that really living then, or is it just being controlled? And yeah, I feel like that's all I kind of want to say with this podcast. Psychoanalysis. Um. Yeah. Yeah, thank you. Keep analyzing yourself. Keep analyzing your dreams, your thoughts, your feelings. I'm learning new things about myself every day, and yeah, this life's crazy. I mean, I'm talking to you through a black mirror, and yeah, I love everyone. I love everyone. I love all of you. And I know I made this really long. I shouldn't have made this really long, but if you want to listen to it, you stick through it. I love every single one of you, and I'm sorry to you if I hurt you, and you don't have to forgive me if you said something mean. I don't forgive me because I don't take offense to anything. I don't take offense to anything. I do not take offense to anything. I realize people make mistakes, and even if they don't really admit to their mistakes, it's because they're going through something, and I don't assume. All right, cool. I love every one of you, and that's my podcast, my full unfiltered self. And I'm sorry for stuttering and repeating, but I guess I don't want to make myself perfect. I mean, I do. I want to improve on that, but that's just who I am at the moment, and I'm not really I feel like, at least for me, I'm not the best at expressing myself to other people, at least in person. So Black Mirror is kind of like 50-50. So, peace. That's all I want to say. Love all of y'all.
I'm just a little person, one person in a sea of many little people who are not aware of me. I do my little job and live my little life, eat my little meals, miss my little kid and wife, and somewhere, maybe someday, maybe somewhere far away, I'll find a second little person who will look at me and say, I know you, you're the one I've waited for. Let's have some fun. Life is precious, every minute, and more precious with you in it. So let's have some fun. We'll take a road trip where maybe somewhere far away, somewhere, maybe someday, maybe somewhere far away, somewhere, maybe someday, maybe somewhere far away, I'll meet a second little person.